show. Alright, so this is Austin Druggy, or ADrugge1993, and hosting my Gravekeeper's deck today. Took it into a tournament on Saturday, and actually got knocked out in the first eliminations to a blackwing deck, but it's still good. I took out a Froggenark deck and a bunch of other stuff the same day. Start out with the monsters. Contains 3 visionary. I like its effect. It can't be, or if it's destroyed, I can just send in another Gravekeeper from my hand to the graveyard. It makes it all sorts of fun in there. As well as he gains 200 for everyone in there, and he only requires 1 tribute when you tribute a Gravekeeper for him. Next are the 3 Gravekeeper Spear Soldiers. They have the piercing effect, which I quite enjoy when you have monsters up at 2000 attack that require no tributes. The next 3 are the spies. When they're flipped, you get to special summon another Gravekeeper with 1500 or less attack from your deck. That's a quick way to get out Spear Soldiers, Priestess, Guards, Spies. If they have a strong monster up, you could just place the Spy in defense mode and you have another defense shield. Next 3 are the Gravekeeper cards. I have 3 of them. When they are flipped, you get to return 1 monster your opponent controls to their hand. That's a nice card for taking down the Scrap Dragons and all that, which I did a couple times this weekend. Gravekeeper's Commandant. Can't really be special summoned. Well, it can, but it's got a 1600 attack, so you can't really use it, or you can't use the Spy or anything like that for it. But his ability allows you to send a Necro Valley to your hand by sending him to the graveyard, which is a very nice thing to have. 1 Assailant. I have another one in my side deck. I don't really use them often because of their effect requires Necro Valley on the field. Sometimes it's not there, so it's kind of a useless card at that time. 1 Priestess. That's a nice card to have with the Spy. It allows you to boost up all your Gravekeepers by 200, and it's a 3-star, so if somebody's got Gravity Bind or something up on the field, you end up with a 1700 beat stick on the field that can sit there and pound away at them a little bit. 1 Descendant. I have 2, but I only use 1 because I tend to keep my Gravekeepers on the field. I don't like to tribute them often. It's more of an emergency. I can flip Spy, I can summon him, I can use his effect on Spy to get rid of it. And then, okay, we'll move on to the Magic and Trap cards. Started off with the obvious, 3 Necro Valleys. Very nice card. The reason I actually started making this deck was because of that card that I pulled out of the Merrick deck, which I originally got for the Mirror Force. Next cards being 3 Stells. Thinking about running 2 instead of 3. They allow you to send 2 Gravekeeper monsters from your grave to your hand. This makes it fun for when you have Visionary in your hand, because you can just use Stell's ability, send 2 to your hand, and all of a sudden Visionary is invincible for 2 destructions. Next 2 cards are 2 Field Barriers. Most people ask me, why the hell do you run those in your deck? I prefer using them because I often have them, and I often have Necro Valley on the field, which people like to take out with Raikou, and etc, etc. 2 MSTs. I just, basic staple card, just prefer using them. I use them in most of my decks. And then the thing that made me infamous this weekend, 2 Solidarities. I prefer them in this deck because every card is a spellcaster. That's an automatic 800 point boost, especially on the first turn if you have Commandant in your hand, because you just send him to the grave. You automatically get that 800 point boost. I'm looking to put a 3rd one in this deck. Other than that, I just plain love that card. 2 Gold Sarks. I'm actually looking to put a 3rd one in this deck because in the March 2011 ban list, they are bumping that up to a unlimited card again, which is very nice to hear. Now we're going to move on to the trap cards. Started off with 3 Rite of Spirits. They allow you to special summon a Gravekeeper card from your graveyard. It's unaffected by Necro Valley, which is a nice thing to have for the Visionaries. Somebody actually gets to destroy it and you draw a Gravekeeper, you can go Rite of Spirit, bring it back, and your Visionary is then indestructible for 1 thing. 2 magic cylinders, basic stapler card, makes it fun, especially when people bring out Bryonic and stuff like that and they don't have any cards in their hand. Kind of a punisher for them. 2 magic cylinders, or magician circles. I don't know why I just said magic cylinder. 2 magician circles. I'm looking to put a 3rd one in here. I actually had one this weekend and I forgot to grab it from the guy. Lets you special summon a spellcaster type when a spellcaster declares an attack. It has to be under 2,000 attack that you get special summon, which every single Gravekeeper in this deck is below 2,000, which makes it fun. Compulsory evacuation device, very useful card that I like to use. It's another basic staple. I prefer this because Book of Moon is going down to 1. Otherwise, I'd probably be using books. Bottomless Trap Hole, another basic staple card. Most people use it. I enjoy using it because a lot of people sit there and use Scrap Dragon and all that, you know, special summon it, and then I'll use a Bottomless Trap Hole. Don't got to deal with that thing anymore. And then another basic staple card, Mirror Force. Obviously, I got it from the Gravekeeper deck. Let's see. Oh, and the one card I use in my extra deck, Chimera Tech Fortress, just for those machine type decks. Everybody knows what they're for. The only downside to having this card in my deck is if I do have Solidarity on the field, which I did this weekend, and they destroyed the Chimera Tech because it was only at 1,000 because I wanted to get rid of their Cyber Dragon. And, oh, had a card mixed up with other things. I actually do carry 2 Assailants in my deck, so the ratio in this deck is I believe it's a 20 monster, 13 trap, 13 magic, which most people don't agree with, but my deck said otherwise this weekend. This is ADrugge1993, and thanks for watching my video.